Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about OCD themes changing and also just jumping from one to another. Why does this happen? This happens for a few different reasons. First reason would be that the old themes are no longer relevant. So say for example you had OCD about school. You finish school, OCD about school obviously stops being relevant and gets replaced with another OCD. Another example of the theme changing would be maybe the theme is still relevant, but just not for the current time period. So, for example, a person is on school break. During the school break, themes that are related to the school are not relevant and temporarily get replaced with another theme. So, with these scenarios, what happens is that OCD has this arsenal of different themes that it throws at you. And usually, pretty much not usually, always, the person will have a primary theme. And in addition, these secondary themes that are not really important. But if the primary theme goes, the secondary themes can rise up and become more anxiety producing and more prevalent in the person's life. Usually, secondary themes are perfection OCD, contamination OCD. Those I usually, not always, see as secondary, but a lot of the times I see those as secondary. And themes like harm OCD, I usually see as primary. But again, if your situation is completely different, it doesn't really make a difference. This is just kind of statistics for you. So, what to do with changing OCD themes and what does it mean overall? Well, when OCD changes themes on you, it means that the old theme is no longer giving you a lot of anxiety. Now, this could just be because it's not really relevant to you, but hopefully it means that you are doing recovery work and you are working hard on that theme, not paying attention to it. So the brain is scrambling. What can I throw at you to get you to react? Oh, I know there was this other theme that you reacted to before. Let me try to throw that one at you and let's see what you will do. So this is kind of the process, just so you understand why they're coming up. And then when you disregard that second theme, it might throw a third theme at you. See what you'll do with that. And it just rotates them. So how to beat this, how to deal with it. Treat all the themes equally. It doesn't matter if it's theme 1, theme 2, or theme 3. They're the same. Their value is 0. Doesn't matter how painful they are, doesn't matter how much anxiety they give, doesn't matter how real they feel. They're all the same. They're all OCD made up stories, right? It's just like we were talking with about the next door neighbor, right? The next door neighbor is screaming obscenities on different topics. He has different repertoires that he likes to perform, and you're just listening to it. And which one he's performing today really doesn't matter. You're just looking at it. Nice try. Yep. I haven't heard that one in a while. Nice try. And disregarding and just moving through your day as you hear your neighbor screaming. You're just going about your day as normally as you possibly can. So showing your brain in the way you act, in the way you look, in the things you do, that nothing is different. I'm not giving this any attention. I'm not validating it in any way. I'm not validating the anxiety, validating the what the brain says that this is dangerous. You're not validating the danger in any way. You're just saying, yeah, nice try. No, I'm not paying attention. I'm here busy doing things, so I'm just going to continue to do those things. And just say that, just like that, very sarcastically, and keep going with the day. The big thing is to treat all the themes the same way and to work on all the themes. Because what will happen is if you work on one theme, but not on the other, while the one is getting better, the other one is really not. And the brain will throw the other one at you. So I would say work on them equally. So if in this situation you get these types of thoughts, in this situation you get these types of thoughts, but you're practicing for one, also practice for the other. If the other was a little bit more difficult, practice to the best of your ability, but just something. Even 1% each day in 100 days, you'll be at 100% of not reacting, So it's just little by little, but continuing to do something every single day. overall, the fact that the themes are even switching at all is not a bad thing, because it means that the brain can't give you something that you completely get immersed in, that it doesn't even nudge to a different topic. Because if you're at 10 out of 10 and you're just obsessively analyzing, it won't even shift to a different topic. It's like a good example is if a person worries, what if I have some incurable disease? They're just focused on this specific disease. They're not even thinking about other things they could possibly get. No, they're just completely focused on this one thing and figuring this out. And they're feeding it, and because they're feeding it, this topic stays. So if the themes are shifting for you, that's the sign that you are doing the right things. And actually, the more thoughts you get in the day, it means that there's nothing, it's not sticking, right? So the brain just throws something, it's not sticking, so it just throws something else, and it keeps doing that all day. This pummeling effect happens in the first stages of OCD recovery. So if you're working hard on the recovery and you see that the thoughts are they're just nonstop, the themes are switching, what is happening? It just means that you stood up to your brain. I use these terms loosely, obviously, but you stood up to your brain, and your brain is scrambling, and it's just putting up a fight. It's giving you a tantrum. It's trying to throw everything at you to get you back into the fear position, and you're not going there. So it's just putting up a fight, and you have to go through this pummeling period as strong as you possibly can. This is the beginning of the recovery. You just have to be very strong and very focused that I know why this is happening, and I know I need to stay strong and not buy into any of these themes, treating them all as equal. Another thing is that a lot of the times, especially as people get closer to the recovery, this is kind of what I was talking about was the beginning of the recovery, but as you get closer to the recovery and the themes start getting better, a new interesting theme gets introduced. This theme is, what if I will never recover? This theme gets a lot of people, and the person's like, but this is my recovery, this is important to me. And your brain's like, oh, it's important to you? Okay, I'll protect you from this then. I'll send you all the scary thoughts about this. And that's what happens. And you get caught up in the analyzing, will I recover, will I not recover? And it feels like, well, how can I not think about it, because this is my recovery, this is important. But you have to treat it as an OCD theme. You don't need to think about it. You know what you need to do. And what you need to do is continuously disregard these thoughts. So whether they're theme A, theme B, theme C, or the theme about recovery, which is just theme D. It doesn't matter. Just because it has to do with OCD specifically, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So you're treating them all the same. If you're doing on-purpose exposures, try to do on-purpose exposures for all the themes across the board. And again, because I always have to clarify this in videos, that when we're talking about on-purpose exposures, we're talking about things that people around you would do, but you're not doing because you are afraid. So they're normal, everyday things that other people do, but you're not doing because of OCD. So starting to do all of those, but across the board for every theme. So if your themes are changing, don't be scared of it. It actually means that your brain is putting up a fight, which means the recovery process is on. Because if it wasn't on, your brain wouldn't even be shifting to a different theme. It would just become, or maybe it would stay with one giant primary theme and just a few small ones, but it wouldn't shift from theme to theme. One is important and another one is important. So if this is what's happening to you and you see that there's no other outside influences, such as, again, if one theme became irrelevant, then that doesn't mean you're recovering. That just switched because it became irrelevant. So that doesn't mean anything. But if everything is still relevant, but you see this shift happening all the time, then that's a good sign. I hope you find my videos helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. If you would like to do one-on-one recovery program with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up and book the appointment from there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.